Are you ready for another P365?
When the SIG SAUER P365 first came out, I was skeptical. I didn't buy my first one for a year. I always think that they should have to work the bugs out before I invest. Well, after about a year or more, I finally got one. Now I have 6. I've got them all, but I don't have this. My last one was the X Macro Tac Ops. Since I got it, I haven't put it down. I shoot it in every class. I shoot it all the time. I used it for all our training videos. But now they came out with the 365-FUSE, which is essentially the Tac Ops with some upgrades and a little extra barrel length. The extra slide length for me is a big deal. This is a full-size gun that is not full-size. I mean, it is lightweight, handy. It is 17+1 regularly, but they ship it with 2 21-round mags. 2 21-round mags. That's awesome, because when I got my Tac Ops, I put extensions on mine, and they're really not reliable, and they're very hard to load. I actually got all 21 rounds in this. Very easy, don't need any kind of assistance. So what do I like about the gun? Well, I love the deep cocking serrations. They totally changed that. I mean, it's very aggressive. Even got some little dimples up here for doing a press check. Don't have to put my hand in front of the muzzle. The extended slide lock, slide release, I could use this gun for competitions easily. If I was still a cop, this would be my duty gun. If they gave me a choice of guns to carry, I would carry this. I'm probably shaving off more than half a pound from a full-size gun. Of course, I like the super low bore axis. And don't tell me this gun is too small for your big hands, because I've got big hands, but this gun fits in my hand. The mag well makes it fit even better, because when I grip it, it drives my hand up into the trigger guard. The trigger's good. The trigger's good on this gun. Not all the 365 triggers are the same. This one's really good. It breaks clean. I don't know if they changed anything inside of it. I'm not concerned. This one's nice. A couple things that I don't care for. Number one, they sent it here with a red dot on it. I'm not a red dot fan, but this is their Romeo X, which gives them the ability to co-witness the red dot with the iron sights. But with this closed emitter, and it's a good closed emitter, it makes the iron sights hard to see through it, and I like to use the iron sights. The other thing is they ship it with a fiber optic right now. I'm sure they're going to change and do some variations, but fiber optics, they always break. Sooner or later, they're going to break. So it's got a longer slide radius. It's got bigger magazines, better cuts. One of the other things, how about this? So this is my Tac Ops holster for in the pants. It's a Safariland. This gun actually pushes all the way through. Works fine. It seats. A little bit of muzzle sticking out. I don't need to buy that holster again. And my competition and my training rig fits just fine in there. It pushes right through. So holsters, that's a big deal. When you're invested in a gun, it's hard to change because you got to start buying other gear. My mag pouches all work the same. I'm going to seat a mag here, take some shots. I've already shot it a little bit, so I know that the red dot is not exactly zeroed, but I didn't take the time to do it. But if I shoot in the head and I use the iron sights, the gun's super accurate. It's hard for me to get a crisp sight picture through the red dot, but then I'll come down and I'm gonna shoot on that shoot and see, and I got the red dot on there. Obviously, it's stacking them up. I'm only at 30 feet, but I'm standing offhand with this gun. The 21 round mag is cool. I mean, they make it. You don't have to get extensions anymore. See if I can hit any targets here. The gun is accurate. The trigger is good. The accessories still work the same. I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. I've got 6 365s now. I'm about to have a 7th because this is not only going to be my training gun, my shooting gun, my new full-size gun of the future. It's going to be my competition gun because with 22 rounds in the gun, that meets production standards. So I'll still be shooting this. I can't wait. Don't have all that extra weight on my belt. So the SIG SAUER 365 Fuse, in my book, is a hit. It's the one gun, the 365 itself is the one gun I have put in more hands, more variety of shooters, and had more success than any other gun. And I've been a trainer for much longer than the 365's been around. I bet I could turn that in less than 4 rounds on the left side and about 4 rounds on the right side. Well, I guess I need 3. I need 3. I mean, it would help if I didn't miss. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not great. The gun? It's awesome.
Yep, full-size gun, SIG SAUER P320. All right, we know what this looks like. We know what it shoots like. You guys are used to it. Cool gun, right? But they upset the apple cart with the P365 when they brought it out because really it was all about capacity. So we're going to take these off for a minute. The original P365, right? But what we're talking about today is a new gun from SIG. It's the P365-FUSE. And what does that mean? Well, to me what it means is this is the biggest P365 they've done to date. Yep, they came out with the macro and then they have an X macro, but this is a full-size P365, which is kind of funny because you think of P365 as being small concealed carry. So what do you need to know about the Fuse? And we're going to compare it to some other guns here, okay? So give you a good full look at this. Well, first off, let's talk capacity. It comes with a 17-round magazine, mostly flush fit. It does have a removable mag well. It also comes with 2 21-round magazines, extendos. Pretty awesome. So it comes with 3 mags. I like the texturing. This is some texturing they've done, this kind of laser engraved texturing they've started doing. It looks good, it feels good. It's kind of that grip tape kind of feel to me. It's a 4.3-inch barrel, and it's a pretty trim package. So I want to show you, I was just shooting the regular kind of OG 320. Look at the size difference on these. And yes, the barrel length is a little bit different, not much different. But just look at the size difference. Both of these hold 17 rounds in a flush fit magazine, okay? So it's just much trimmer. Now, of course, cut for optics right off the bat. You're gonna see that from all SIG pistols at this point. Fiber optic sights, some people like them, some people don't. It's a preference thing. To me, they jump out at you. They look really good. For me, could be good for target shooting. And for me, this gun is starting to be bigger than what I would carry. But let's compare it to some other guns. All right, the P365, the OG. This is like the older brother who's shorter and, you know, not as sexy. But the younger, slimmer, taller brother is right here. P365-FUSE. Just looking at that, kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. All right. But then they came out with a macro. Oh, it's a bigger P365. Well, this is an X macro, so it has a few extra features. All right. And then, how does it compare to other guns? Let's look at that. This is a Glock 47. So, we used to call this a Glock 17, I think. Glock fanboys, correct me. Tell me what's up. But this holds 17, and it is bigger and chunkier, big old full-size gun. I also have a little Springfield Hellcat RDP. So it's basically the Hellcat with optics, with the comp on it. But just to look at that and compare size, again, because people are going to say, well, how does it compare to this? How does it compare to that? We don't have every single gun you probably want to compare it to, but it's worth looking at. This is just a nice trim gun, but it's not a small gun. Full-size grip on it. I'd like to shoot it. Let's do that.
Hey, Ryan, you forgot one.
Which one's that?
That is the Spectre Comp 365.
With friends like Chris. Spectre Comp 365. All right. I mean, the Fuse doesn't have the gold barrel, so, I mean, it's probably not worth anything. No gold trigger either. But just again, comparison, looking at this, the Fuse is the big daddy. Like I said, the taller, younger brother, sexier brother. Let's just shoot a few shots through this. I don't know if this red dot's sighted in. It looks pretty close. Let's try it out. I like the grip on it. Another thing that I like that they did, because if you look at what was going on with the serrations on this Fuse are much chunkier, easier to grab onto. If you run the gun up front, super easy to run it that way. I think that this gun would be a great training gun, range gun. It's big enough that it's going to be comfortable to shoot. The fact of the matter is, small concealed carry guns, P365, the Hellcat, smaller guns are harder to shoot in general. And also for, I mean, it could be a lady, could be a new shooter, but also if you have big hands and you can't get a full grip on the gun, it makes it a little bit trickier if you're not used to that. So that's a reason why the Fuse would be more comfortable for a lot of people to shoot. At this point, we are in a golden age of handgun design. Most of these guns that you see on the table, they have a nice beaver tail, some sort of beaver tail. That's kind of 1911 lingo, but they still have that. Undercut on the trigger guard, that's what you're starting to get used to seeing. There's nothing that turns me off as far as where the mag release is on the gun. It's comfortable, it runs fine. Having a mag well, it's always helpful, makes it easier to reload. There's a lot of features on here that you're like, yep, glad that's there. Yep, glad that's there. Yep. I mean, the red dot, pretty much kind of from the factory, it co-witnesses with the sights. So that's kind of what you're starting to expect. I mean, there's all these features that you're expecting on new guns, and there's nothing strange or weird. Also, I like the trigger on the gun I got. I'll admit, some of the SIG, the P365 and 320 triggers feel a little bit mushy to my taste. There's not a defined enough wall for my taste. This one, I like it. It finds a wall and it breaks. Find that wall and it breaks. So hopefully that's something that you'll find on most of these models. But that's, you know, again, trigger is a little bit of a preference thing. There are good triggers and bad triggers, but a lot of the guys in the office love these. It's also 23 ounces with an unloaded magazine in the gun. So, I mean, it's not a heavy gun. It's not a chunky gun. It's kind of a trim, sleek, but still holds lots of ammo. Definitely something that if you're interested in pistol shooting, like competition shooting, this could be a really good fit because you already have two 21 round mags. I love that that's coming from the factory. You're gonna have to deal with base pads and all that. One other thing that's interesting about this, it does come with interchangeable back straps. And I have just what came with the gun, but they also have a small and a large. So you can kind of customize that to fit your hand. And really what you're probably doing mostly is customizing your trigger reach to the gun. So you're making sure that your finger falls where you want it to fall on the gun. It's funny, P365 is supposed to be a concealed carry gun, but here's a big one. To see all of Gun Talk's content, go to guntalk.com, guntalktv.com, or sign up for the Gun Talk newsletter.